From the PEP Radio Newsroom, I'm David Moore with this morning's LGBTQIA plus news. Support for LGBTQ equality dipped slightly in 2024, but remains at historically high levels, according to data released Thursday by GLAAD, an LGBTQ media advocacy organization. The Hill is reporting that 80% of non-LGBTQ adults surveyed by the group in January said they support equal rights for the LGBTQ community, down from 84% who said the same in 2023, according to GLAAD's annual Accelerating Acceptance Report, a yearly barometer of support for LGBTQ Americans. A majority of non-LGBTQ adults, 91%, said LGBTQ people deserve to live their lives free from fear. However, and 89% said LGBTQ Americans should have the same freedom to live their lives and not be discriminated against. Sarah Kate Ellis, GLAAD's president and chief executive officer, said while acceptance for LGBTQ people remains at supermajority levels, the data this year also sounds substantial alarms about threats to this progress and to freedoms valued by every American. Conservative lawmakers, court judges, and media sources that oppose things like abortion and contraception access, Ellis said, are using a similar playbook to undermine LGBTQ people and our equality. Threats to reproductive health care and gender-affirming care for transgender people are interconnected, and disinformation about the LGBTQ community has spread rapidly in recent years, driven in part by conservative policymakers and influential figures who oppose LGBTQ rights. Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, the Republican nominee for vice president, has repeated the false and inflammatory claim that LGBTQ people are grooming children to abuse them. After a deadly shooting at a Christian elementary school in Nashville, Tennessee last year, Vance suggested the shooter's gender identity may have been a motivating factor. His running mate, former President Trump, frequently touts a campaign promise to ban gender diverse or transgender women and girls, whom he calls men, from female sports teams, and has said he will reinstate a ban on trans people serving openly in the military if he is reelected in November. In news from Harrisburg, WHTM is reporting that Pennsylvania Turnpike officials have been working to put an end to human trafficking. Human trafficking is a very prevalent problem in our area. People don't realize just how prevalent it is, said Pamela Hess, a transportation planning specialist with the Turnpike. With our heat map, you can see everything in red, and you can see that human trafficking, although it has happened, can happen anywhere, and it has happened on the Turnpike. According to the Unified Judicial System of Pennsylvania, Dauphin County had the second highest amount of human trafficking offenses filed in the state between 2018 and 2022. Another key statistic I think that's important is that there is 85% of all the human trafficking victims, they're actually U.S. citizens, Hess said. And of that, 25% of them are 18 years of age or younger. These statistics are part of the reason Pennsylvania Turnpike officials launched this campaign in an effort to educate the public and put an end to human trafficking, which officials explain isn't always for sexual acts. Hess went on to say a lot of times it can be for labor or just some kind of forceful coercion. Also from Harrisburg this morning, WTAJ is reporting that workplace bullying and psychological abuse are not illegal in Pennsylvania, but lawmakers raised the issue during a policy committee hearing on Wednesday. House Majority Policy Committee members heard from advocates, survivors, and attorneys about concerns of a public health threat and the need to protect Pennsylvania's workers from what researchers call a silent epidemic. Kiana Jackson, a 32-year-old graduate of Eastern University, described her experiences of workplace bullying employed at a charter school and how, when she approached HR about her concerns, she was fired shortly thereafter. Experts testified before committee members about the need for psychological safety, in which workers feel safe to share their thoughts, ask questions, and admit mistakes without negative consequences. Workers subjected to bullying can often suffer from anxiety, depression, and burnout, according to Policy Committee Chairman Ryan Bizzarro of Erie County, and he reported that in a statement. And finally, this news from Meadville. Thousands of veterans in Crawford County have a new hub for healthcare needs and specialized services. The Erie VA Medical Center has completed construction at a new clinic in Crawford County, and it's now taking patients. Construction of a more than 15,000 square foot medical facility was capped off by a ribbon cutting on Thursday afternoon. The VA operated out of a much smaller clinic in Crawford County before this, around 6,000 square feet. In the other building, we were very crunched for space, so we were doing a lot of space sharing. This allows the staff to be able to spread out and do their jobs more efficiently, get patients in and out quicker while providing efficient care, said Shania Wolbert, manager of the Crawford County VA Clinic. The facility will be split in half, with one side functioning as a primary care facility, and the other provides specialty services. Among the specializations include cardiology, podiatry, endocrinology, oncology, and orthopedics, not to mention available telehealth and behavioral health options. The Erie VA's director said this is all part of a larger plan to modernize veterans clinics surrounding the Erie area. And now, the National Weather Service forecast is brought to you by the Shenango Valley Pride, Pennsylvania Equality Project's Organization of the Month. Expect cloudy skies with an increasing chance of thunderstorms after about 2 p.m., a high of 82 degrees. As evening approaches, expect showers and thunderstorms, likely before 7 p.m., and a low of around 67 degrees. For Saturday, showers and possibly thunderstorms throughout much of the day with a high of 81. Elsewhere in Pennsylvania, the forecast for Harrisburg is calling for mostly sunny skies and a high of 91 degrees. For this evening, rain showers are likely with an increasing chance of thunderstorms during the overnight hours and a low of 69. Saturday's forecast is calling for an increase risk of showers and thunderstorms as the day progresses and a high of 84 degrees. That's a look at the weather and the news, and now back to the music here on PEP Radio.